Okay, hello everyone. Thank you for joining. Okay, thank you for joining the live. Thank you for joining early. Actually, the live will be starting at exactly 4 p.m. But thank you for joining. Bamike, JK, you're welcome. Welcome, Dami Sena. Sky Queen Mira has also joined in. Thank you for joining us. Official Giddy _01. Thank you for joining us. Harduke, thank you for joining us. Oki Abiola, thank you for joining us. Mobo Daniel, thank you for joining us. I hope I'm pronouncing your names correctly, but if I'm not, please pardon me. The Josepha Batsuri, thank you for joining us. Tayo _Uni, thank you for joining us. Thank you for coming very early. We're really grateful. Ms. Tosin, thank you for joining us. Fabulosity 1803, thank you for joining us. Olushola Messi Phoebe, thank you for joining us. Bamike, you're welcome, you're welcome. Vine Exchange, thank you for joining us. Stephanie, thank you for joining us. One day co, oneday.co, thank you for joining us. So by 4 p.m. we'll be kicking it off, but those who are here early, we're so grateful. Feel free to share this video with your friends, send it to them via DM, tag them, let them know that we're about to go live and answer all your questions regarding the IELTS test. So for those who are just joining, good evening. The live video will be kicking off by 4 p.m. but we're grateful that you joined us early. Thank you, Dimotosin Olua, for joining. Thank you, EE Luem, for joining as well. Feel free to share this live video with your friends. Let them know that by 4 p.m. exactly, we'll start sharing all the details and answering all the questions you have regarding the IELTS tests. Stay tuned. So in the next 5 minutes, we'll start the live session proper. And if you're just joining us, welcome, welcome. We're going to be answering all the questions regarding the IELTS exam. Thank you for joining us if you're here early. I would just like to mention a few names of those who have joined in the last few minutes. Adirafam_, thank you for joining us. Indie Impact, thank you for joining us. Pencare03, thank you for joining us as well. Darmi, thank you for joining us. Miss_Andero, thank you so much for joining us. We're about to start in the next 4 minutes. So go ahead and share this live video with your friends and family. Let them know that all the details and questions regarding the IELTS test will be answered here today. Okay, hello everybody. We're about to start now. So you can go ahead and share the video with your friends and family so that they can join in. Okay. Hello everyone. My name is Danny and you're welcome to today's live. Thank you so much for joining us today. I actually took the IELTS test here at IDP last December and I had a very good experience. Like many of you, I was nervous, I had questions, but when I booked the test and when I took the test here, I had a very good experience. So, as many questions that you have, we're here today to answer those questions about the IELTS test. But most importantly, we have live here today and if you have any questions at all, feel free to drop it in the comment section or in the question bar, and we'll definitely be giving you those answers before we leave today. So I'll just let her introduce herself and then she'll tell us a little bit about the IELTS and what the test is all about and what it can do for you. Over to you, ma'am.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Abiola. I'm the IDP IELTS Nigeria Test Center Administrator, and I'm here today to answer all your questions as regards taking the IELTS test.
Okay, so just like she said, can you tell us a little bit about the IELTS? Some people have heard it so many times. They've asked them, oh, you have to take the IELTS, or what's your IELTS score? But they don't really know what is the exam all about, what can it do for me? So just give us a brief overview about that.
Okay, so basically, IELTS is an international English language testing system that is designed to help you work, study, or migrate to a country where English is the native language. So the countries include Australia, Canada, New Zealand, UK, and the US. So this test, this English language test, tests your ability to read, listen, write, and speak, assessed on a scale of a band 1 to 9 band score. And IDP is a co-owner of IELTS, so we can administer the IELTS test. So basically, if you are looking to work, live, or study in an English-speaking country, then you must be able to demonstrate a high level of English language ability. English is the third most spoken language in the world, with over 379 million speakers worldwide. So being able to communicate in the native language of the particular country you wish to work or study has a wide range of benefits, and it is also essential for job opportunities as well as integration to the community. So hence the reason why most of these countries usually request for the IELTS results.
Okay, thank you very much. So let us dive into some of the questions we got already. Someone asked, does IDP have classes before the test, or do they only administer the test?
Okay, so we only administer the test. We don't offer tutorial classes. So what we do is you register the test with us, and then we administer the test. We send you the result and everything that has to do with administering the test. However, once you register with us, you have access to the study materials. Once you make payments, we send you the study materials. We send you the e-copies of the study materials. You get them in your emails. Also, even if you do not register, you can visit our website to download study materials. You'll see some preparatory materials there, and then you can also do some familiarization tests there. And then also you can download our app, IELTS by IDP app, and then you see a lot of study materials there.
Okay, so a member of the team will write the website and the app in the comment section so that the viewers can take a screenshot or take notes of the website where they can get the materials and the name of the app. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, so the second question we have is, when is the best time to register for the IELTS test? Is there any specific period of the year specifically for the IELTS, or can it be done at any time?
Okay, so for the computer delivered test, the computer delivered IELTS, here in Nigeria, we administer the test every 6 days a week. So Monday to Saturday, if you register at our test center, you can take the test Monday to Saturday. And then for the paper-based test, we administer that 3 times a month, and then 3 times a month for the whole 12 months of the year. So PCD is available 6 days a week. Paper delivered test is available 3 times a month.
Okay, so that means whenever they are ready, you just need to check the available dates that is convenient for them and make their booking.
Exactly.
Okay, so that brings me to the next question. Since you mentioned it, people always wonder, do I take the computer-based test or do I take the paper-based test? Which one is more advisable for me? Can you just help us answer that?
So it depends on you. It depends on, okay, so for the computer delivered test, it depends on how tech savvy you are. If you type very well, if you are used to using the computer all the time, often, then you can do the computer test. But for the PB, if you know you can write very well, write for an hour, for 3 hours or thereabouts, then you can do the PB. However, both computer tests and paper delivered tests are graded equally. So you have the same 1 hour for writing, you have the same kind of questions, you have the same kind of, you do the test in the same kind of environment, because you do speaking for 15 to 20 minutes, it's just the same. It's just the only difference is the mode of delivery.
Okay.
One you are doing paper, another one you are doing it on the computer.
Okay. Yes. So it depends on the candidate.
Yes.
It depends on your own preferences.
Yes.
You're not going to be graded differently for either of them. It just depends on you.
Yes.
Okay. So they're having some questions in the comments. So we'll just go to those and come back to the ones we got on social media.
Okay.
Okay. So we have a question here from Vine Exchange. He or she says, I'm so worried about the listening section. The audio is played just once. How do I manage time to comprehend the audio and also answer the question?
Unfortunately, that's the IELTS policy. The video is only played once. That's the reason why we encourage people to do some practice tests before taking the test. So if you do a lot of practice before the test, you know how to manage your time. Yeah.
Okay, so that's the answer. Practice before the test. Okay, another question here from Timothy Atima. He says, how soon can one resit the test? So I believe he wrote it already and maybe he would like to take it again. How soon after the first one can he take another one?
You can take the test immediately. As soon as you are done with that one, the one you have done, you can take the test immediately. However, we usually encourage test takers to study more before taking the test again. So for you to want to do the test again, that means you feel you do not have the required band score. So we usually encourage test takers to study more, practice more before they register. However, you can register immediately.
Okay, so let's go back to the questions we got on social media. Someone is asking, how can they book for the tests?
Okay, so if you want to register for the IELTS test, you visit our website, ielts.idp.com /book, and then you register for the test. You can also come to our office at Landmark House, Ikeja, GRA, Lagos, and come and register for the test. However, you can do the registration without even coming to our test venue, to our test center. Register online, make the payment online, and then we'll confirm your booking right away.
Okay, so you heard that. I personally took the test last year and I registered online. The website is very easy to use, very easy to navigate, so you have nothing to be worried about. Alright, so another question we have gotten from Instagram is, what if I am delayed by circumstances beyond my control? What happens next? I believe the person has booked for the test and they have a day and time, but they can't make it on that day. What happens? Okay, so if you are not able to take your test on that test day,
what you need to, if you cannot do your test on that test, that means you have missed the test. You can't take the test. However, you can send us an email to request for a transfer, and then it's subject to approval. When we investigate the circumstances, we'll determine whether you'll be allowed to take the test again or not. But if you'll be allowed to take the test, then you have to pay the administrative fee for the transfer.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. All right, so back to the questions. Someone asked that her international passport is not yet ready. but she wants to take the test. Must she have an international passport before she can register and take the IELTS test?
So, before you can take the IELTS test, you must provide your international passport. That's the basic requirement from IELTS. This is not even an IDP policy. Okay. It's an IELTS policy. So before you can take the IELTS test, you must provide the original copy of your passport. Not an expired one, a valid one, and not a photocopy or a soft copy. You have to come with a valid hard copy of your passport.
Your passport. Okay. All right. So thank you so much, everyone, for engaging. We really appreciate the comments and the questions. And if any other question comes to mind, feel free to type them in the comment section or in the question box. So now, moving on. Someone wants to know, how soon after my test will my results be out? And also, how can I assess the results?
Okay, so for the computer delivered test, your results will be out in 3 to 5 days. 3 to 5 days, your results will be out. And for the paper delivered test, your results will be out in 13 days. 13 days after the test day. And then you can pick, there are different options to get your results. You can pick it up at our test center, or you can request for the dispatch and we'll dispatch it to your address, to the address you provide to us. Or you can also request an authorized pickup. That means you can authorize someone to pick up your results from us.
Okay, so it's very convenient. You can also access it online, or you can come to the center, or it can be delivered to your doorstep.
So yes, so usually once the result is released, we send an email to all our test takers notifying them that the results are available for pickup or they can view online. So we also send them the link to view the results online, so they can view the result online even when they do not need the hard copy yet.
Yes, exactly. So in my case, I took the CBT, and a few days later, I was able to access it online, and I also took advantage of the delivery option and had it delivered via DHL to my home address. So it was very, very convenient. Thanks to IDP for making life easy. Okay, so someone has asked on Instagram Live, Swelty Josh. He says, when is the earliest date for the IELTS exam?
So like I mentioned earlier, the next available, the computer delivered test is done 6 days a week, Monday to Saturday, and then the paper delivered test is done 3 times a month. So for the computer delivered test, if you want to register, you can register now, and I mean you have to register at least 72 hours before the test date, but it's always available. You can register anytime.
Okay, so let's go back to some of the questions we got prior to joining the live. So someone wants to know, how much does the IELTS test cost?
Okay, so the IELTS test costs 89,500 naira, and then UKVI is 96,500, and life skill is 86,250.
Okay, thank you for sharing that. Next question, someone wants to know what happens on the day of the test. So if you can just run us through, maybe your test is on this day, from the time you come to the center, what are the events that take place until you leave the center, briefly? Okay,
so once you register for the test, you get an email notification from us, venue notification from us at least 48 hours before the test date, advising you of the test venue, what time the test is starting, what time the LRW is starting, listening, reading and writing is starting, and then what time the speaking is starting. And then also we usually advise test takers to arrive at least 1 hour before the test time, so that it will give them enough time to do all the pre-test activities before the test time. So when they arrive at the test venue, we direct them to the waiting area. They do their registrations, we do necessary announcements, we do the ID check. Like I mentioned earlier, they must come with their international passport. So we check their passports, then we direct them to the waiting area, where we also make some sort of secured waiting area, where we also make some sort of announcements as to what to expect in the test room. So then they do the listening, reading and writing first, or sometimes they do the speaking first before they do the listening, reading and writing test. Then the listening, reading and writing components are usually done together. So once you go into the lab, you do the test room, you do all the 3 components together, and then when you are done, you get your belongings, and then you can leave the test center.
Okay, that's bringing to the next question. Someone wants to know, can he or she do all 4 parts? That is listening, reading, speaking, and writing on the same day.
Yes, they can do all the 4 parts in one day, depending on the test center availability. So for instance, for the computer delivered test, they can do all the 4 components in one day. So let's say you register to take your test by in the morning for sitting 1. You can do the listening, reading, and writing by night. You start by 9 o'clock. Then once you are done, you do the speaking test. Or let's say you want to do the listening, reading, and writing by 1 p.m. You do all the 3 together, and then you do the speaking before the 1 p.m. But for paper-based, it also depends on the test center arrangement. A lot of times you do your speaking test before the listening, reading, and writing component, maybe some days before then. Then on the exact day when you're supposed to do the test, you do all the 3 components together. And then there are times that the test center can decide to do all the 4 components together. So basically, most times for computer delivered test, you do all the 4 components at once. And then for paper delivered test, a lot of time you do all the 3 components at once, and then you do the speaking test before some days before the LRW.
Okay, thank you very much. So back to the questions on Instagram Live. Shaila Dev is asking, what is the success rate of IDP in IELTS exam?
Okay, so this question is kind of so like I mentioned earlier, we do not, our own responsibility is to administer the test. We do not set the question materials, and we do not do tutorials. So how we measure our success rate is how comfortable were test takers when they came for the test. How is the waiting area? How are the computers? How are the examiners? Were they available? Did they arrive early? Was the room conditions suitable for them? So that is how we measure our success rate. And by doing how we can measure it is by having someone like her come on days like this to say, when I did my test, the environment was really nice. The staff were nice and polite. But we can't really say we were the one that influenced her getting a band 9 that she got in listening, because we didn't do any tutorial for her. But we can say we influenced it by providing study materials for her. Yes, I hope that answers your question, Sheila.
Thank you. Okay, we have a question here that you have also kind of answered. Buying Exchange is asking, why is there a different center for speaking and other section parts while having a paper-based test, which you already answered? It all depends on the test center arrangements and also availability. So that's the answer. Then another question is, do we get materials when we register with IDP, which she answered already, that once you register with IDP, you get access to some materials on their website and also when you download the app. So you can find the name of the app and the website here on our comment section as well. So let's go back to what we have here. Someone's asking, can they get past questions for the IELTS test?
Yes, they can get past questions if they log onto our website, IELTSbyIDP.com. They will see a lot of past questions there, and also if they download our app, IELTS by IDP app. It's available on Play Store, it's available on App Store. You can download it from there, and then you see a lot of past questions there.
Okay, and these past questions are available to those who have already registered for their tests, right?
No, you don't have to register for the test before you can have access to these materials. Once you download the app, you'll see the materials there. Once you log onto our website, you'll see the materials there. However, if you register with us and pay to us, you automatically by default will send you some exam materials, preparatory materials that you can use to study.
And those will be sent via email?
Via email, e-materials, yes.
Okay. So please take notes. Once you sign up with IDP, you can expect some study materials via email, because we just got another question similar to that from Mara 001. She asked, where can I get study materials? So that is your answer. You can get it from there. So Bamike_JK is asking, I'm so nervous to write and finding myself not interested in practicing. Kindly advise on what to do. So he's nervous about it, but he can't find the motivation to take those practice tests. So what can he or she do? What do you advise?
Okay, so this is it's a test, and IELTS is designed to test your ability to listen, read, write, and speak. So you just have to study. You just have to study. Just find a way of motivating yourself to study. Maybe you can register some tutorial centers and see if they can help you to learn to study, or maybe, so there are some other resources that you can use to study. If you know you like to watch to learn, maybe you can check some on our YouTube channel, some videos that you can watch, or there are some that you can find on podcasts that you can listen to that will also help. So it's not all the time that you have to read. There are sometimes you have to watch or listen. So just find out what works for you and do that. I wish you all the best.
That's a very good one. So there are different avenues that you can use. So if you know you can't find motivation to actually sit down and go through a paper version, you can take advantage of the video format and learn through that, or audio format and learn through that. So thank you for asking those questions. We're really grateful. Thank you for engaging. And any question that comes to mind, feel free to drop it in the comment section or in the question bar as well. We'll be happy to take your questions. So we want to share some updates on why you should keep following the IELTS by IDP Nigeria page. One of the reasons is that from time to time, IDP shares vouchers. Because I remember in May or June, there were 5,000 Naira vouchers shared with registrants, if I'm right.
Yes, that's correct. And then also in February, we shared pizzas. And then March, we shared a lot of other items, power banks, car chargers, water bottles, and a lot of other things. So we do that often.
Okay, so definitely keep yourself glued to the page so that when any of these vouchers are being shared, you can take advantage of that. So imagine getting a 5,000 Naira voucher, and you can use that to sign up, and you can save some money from your IELTS test fee. Also gifts, like she mentioned, so from time to time on Instagram, we'll be sharing gifts with the audience, and also more exciting things are coming by IDP and by the IELTS brand, so you can be the ones to get first-hand information once you're glued to the Instagram page. So let's just see if we have any more questions from here. Thank you. Shaila Deb says you are both looking great. Thank you very much. And someone also commenting, she said, Madam Abiola, you are doing great as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, so if you have any more questions, feel free to drop them. And Abiola, do you have anything to say to anybody who is thinking of registering for the IELTS, but they don't know if they should go with IDP? What are some things you can say as reason they should choose IDP?
Okay, so I'll say that IDP, we are customer centric. We take you seriously. When you come to our test venue, we give you a warm welcoming. We have our test venues are very conducive and very beautiful to look at. And then we also have a lot of refreshments available. So if you come to our test venue, you really enjoy taking the test with us, because our staff are very professional, our venues are very nice, and we have all the required facilities that will aid your testing experience.
Yeah, I can definitely testify to that. I took mine here last December. Like I said, I took the computer base. They have very modern computer systems. You don't have to worry about your computer going off on you. The mouse, the keyboard, everything works perfectly. And very air conditioned. You know, Lagos is quite hot, but in here it's properly air conditioned. Very comfortable seating arrangements as well. Like you said, lots of refreshments, coffee, water, snacks are here as well. So we got a question from Luem. He says, what if I score very high in the writing tests and low in the reading tests? Will I still pass because I am not the talking type? In other words, how is the result compiled?
Okay, so the IELTS test read, write, and speaking. So you'll be graded separately on each component. So your speaking score is not going to have any effect on your writing score or your reading score. So if you speak very well and you don't write very well, you're going to be graded separately because it's going to be different examiners that will mark all those 4 components. So it's not like the examiner has listened to your speaking test and saying the person is saying that this person cannot do well in writing. No, they will be graded separately. So what that means is that if you think you do not do well in one component, you can request for a remark. If you are really sure that you think you did very well, you can request for a remark. However, one component is not going to affect the other component. But the only impact it can have is that by the time you calculate the overall score, the one that the band score is lower is going to affect the overall band score. So let's say you have a band 9 in listening and you have a band 2 in speaking. By the time you calculate all the false components, it's going to reduce. But if you have 9 in all, then it will also help. So it's better, as much as you think you don't speak very well, you also need to practice in that area. If you know that you don't like to speak very well, that's more reason why you need to practice that speaking component very well. So you're not going to focus only on your strengths, you also need to focus on your weakness as you are preparing for the test.
So in other words, the test taker's goal should be to score high in all of the bands.
Yes. Because
if you score lower in some, it will then affect your overall score. Okay. So we have a question here from Steph_O. Can someone register up front, like months from now? So let's say currently we are in August, when you want to write your test like in December. Can I pay now? Can I register now?
Yes, of course.
Start practicing.
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. As a matter of fact, we encourage test takers to register early enough so that it will give them enough time to study. Yeah.
Okay. So there are no limits on how many months in advance you can register. So feel free, if you're thinking of taking it sometime in the future and you're ready to register now, go right ahead and register. So we have a question here from Adirunke Tijani. She's asking, what's the difference between the general and the UKVI IELTS? Okay,
so I'm not sure that that's the exact question. So I think she wants to ask, what is the difference between IELTS and UKVI? So IELTS you can use it in different countries where English is their native language. However, UKVI you can only use it in the UK. So in IELTS and UKVI we have 2 components. We have the academic IELTS or academic UKVI, or general IELTS or general UKVI. So when she wrote general, I want to assume that she's talking about IELTS, because IELTS have general and academic. UKVI has general and academic as well. So IELTS it can be used in different countries, while UKVI you can only use it in the UK.
So it depends on where your destination is. That depends on the one you register for. And someone just asked Hayes_ST, I believe she just joined because we answered this. She says, how does one register for the IELTS exam? So I think Abiola answered that already. She said you can register at the center, at the Ikeja GRA Landmark Building, or you can also register online. The website will be here in the Instagram comments. One of our team members will write it out for you. Okay. So at this point, we'll be wrapping up the Instagram live. I believe we'll be able to answer a good number of questions so far. If any other question comes to mind, feel free to drop them in the comment section. We're going to go through any other questions to make sure that we didn't miss anything. Let's see. Yeah, we have answered this. Okay, someone wants to know, how long is it valid for? So if I take the IELTS test now, how long will it be valid for?
Okay, so the IELTS test is valid for 2 years. It's valid for 2 years only. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Someone is asking, can the test be done virtually, or do I have to come physically to a center?
For now, you can't do it virtually, although we are proposing that. Test, you still have to come to the test center.
Okay, all right. And let's take the last 2 questions we have here, and then we have one more on Instagram. So let's take the last 2 from here. Someone is saying, can I send a friend to pick up my results? So let's say she's taking the test, her results are out, and maybe she's not within the area, can she send a friend to pick up for her?
Yes, you can send a friend to pick up your results for you, provided you give the person authorization to pick it up for you. So to do that, you send us an email or you fill the authorization form, and then when you fill the form, you provide necessary information, and then the person will provide a valid means of ID to pick it up.
Okay. Now, the last question from here is, can I pick my preferred time and date for the IELTS test? So maybe when you're booking, can I select what date and time is convenient for me, or is it just assigned?
So yes, you can pick your preferred date and time, especially for the computer delivered test. You can choose to do it in the morning, AM, or in the afternoon. So the AM session starts by 9 o'clock, the PM session starts by 1 PM. So you can choose your preferred date, you can choose your preferred time, and also you can choose your preferred locations. We have multiple locations in Nigeria, so you can choose your preferred location.
Okay. All right. And there's a question here saying, how many times can I take the IELTS test? I think we already answered this.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. There are no limits. So if you took the test the first time and you're not happy with the score, you can register almost immediately, but we encourage you to study more, prepare more before you take it the second time or the third time. And the final question, someone is asking, why is there a price increase for the tests?
Okay, so for now, our price hasn't changed. We're still charging, price is still 89,500 for IELTS, 96,500 for UKVI, and 86,200 for life skills. So our price still remains the same.
Okay. So thank you very much, Madam Abiola, for clarifying that. So the price is still the same. You can go ahead and book for your IELTS, whether it's through the website or whether it's here at our center. And definitely keep following the Instagram page. Okay, so there's a question here. Is IDP IELTS really recognized by Cambridge English?
Yes, IDP IELTS is recognized by Cambridge English. As a matter of fact, IDP are co-owners of IELTS test. So it is recognized in over 300, over 3,000 institutions in the world. It's recognized everywhere. So IDP IELTS is a recognized owner of IELTS test.
Yeah, okay, thank you very much. So we will be going live more often, so more questions will be answered, more opportunities to win the vouchers I talk about, and also get some gifts from us. And more things are coming, more exciting things are coming, so stay glued to our Instagram page, IELTS by IDP Nigeria. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Bye!